Welcome, welcome, welcome to our second interview in our second day of the Eñye Dream Accelerator table making series. I'm so excited to be here with my friend, and also something else, and we're going to reveal that in a little bit, what other connection that Irisneri, Iris has that her and I have together. So so excited to have her as a guest. We've got a great origin story. Like, our story of meeting is actually really fun. So I want to make sure to cover that. And then you're going to get a chance to hear more about what her passion is, which is genealogy, and which is so hot right now because everyone's doing the ancestry things and finding out where they're from. But before that, I want to give you guys a little bit of background as to what in the world we're doing here with Project Eñye. So one of the things that I am totally and utterly tired of is seeing headlines or watching television or hearing people on social talk about the lack of Latino representation in the media, in politics, in corporate America, in boardrooms, in everywhere, right? Like, just tired of it. And I know when I first started working on the film, which is crazy to think, I think it's going to be 8 years in January that I actually pitched the idea to my now partner, Henry. I'm pretty sure it's 8. And, back then I didn't realize it. I'm not sure I would have called it, I'm going to make my own table. But that's kind of what I did, because a lot of, that term making, having a seat at the table, that term kind of started a little bit, I don't know, a few years ago. I feel like people started talking about it. And it's true. Sometimes I feel like, either I'm not being invited to the table, or there's too many people already sitting at the table, or something else with the table, and there's always seems to be some access to the table. And so what I chose to do with the film, looking back, is make my own damn table, right? And then I decided to help other women, specifically Latinas, make their own tables too, because time is wasted, and sometimes it can feel like, oh, well, I'll just wait and see what they're doing over there, and maybe I'll join them once it's all set up. But the thing is, if not now, then when? Because if everyone is thinking that, I don't want to kind of beat a dead horse here, but if we're all thinking that, then no one really takes the risk. No one really goes out there on a limb and tries to change things. And so every single career path, it seems, doesn't have enough people, enough brown faces, enough faces of color, enough women of color at the table. And so our goal with the Eñye Dream Accelerator is to support women that want to trailblaze in the area that they are most passionate. And so when I met, I'm going to share how I met Iris because the setup is so interesting. Now, last year, well, it wasn't last year. It was the year before last year.
19.
Okay.
April of 2019, yeah.
April of 2019. It was April of 2019, so it was last year. Okay.
Oh, so, yeah.
Was it?
It has been so long.
Is it 20? It was last year. It does feel like it's been longer in the best of ways. I'm saying this. And so, really quick before I get into it. So welcome. And welcome all to this conversation. If you have any questions for Irisneri, or if you have any comments, please chime in. And thank you in advance for chiming in. Okay. And if you want to work with her or learn more about her, we will be sure to share exactly where you can find her. And also, there's Luz. Luz just said, hi, Denise. Iris, besos from Luchi. Thanks for joining us. Now I can actually see your name. I'm so excited. So if you want to work with Iris or learn more, we're going to share all of that at the end. Okay. Oh, and also we'll share about the bonus that you offered to anybody brand new in EDA. Okay. So back to the day that we met. Now, as many of you know, I spent the last several years as like a total road warrior, and I was on a plane. At least I'm going to say 30 to 35 times a year for 3 years straight. And last year I had 2 engagements. Sometimes I would go somewhere and I would have 2 to 3 dates in the same general area of the country. So I would, instead of flying home, I would just stay overnight and then fly to the next place. And so I had an engagement in Virginia, I believe. And then I took a flight from Virginia to, I was on my way to go to Massachusetts, but I was flying into Hartford, I believe. And unfortunately, when my plane took off, there was some kind of problem, which was kind of scary. And we were flying around DC and they said, sorry about your bad luck. We got to land this plane here. And I was like, what? I have to be at 8 in the morning. The next morning, I needed to be picked up at my hotel. And then there is where I would end up meeting Iris. Well, it was like 8 o'clock p.m. the night before, and I'm on this plane hearing this news. So the plane lands, I stay in a hotel, thank goodness, close by for a few hours because my flight is now at I think I have to be at the airport for a 6 a.m. flight. So I have to be there by 4, some crazy thing. Or 4:30, something insane. So I literally got like 3 hours of sleep, get on the plane.
Yeah.
You know what? You guys were so awesome. You guys, it's like I was infused with freaking your awesomeness. So it was so much fun to hang out with you that day. So I got on the plane, get to Hartford to Massachusetts, where to Springfield, Massachusetts, right? And then check into my hotel. I literally have enough time to put my bags down. I think I brushed my hair, changed my outfit. No, I think I wore my outfit so I wouldn't have to change. Or I can't remember what I did with my outfit. Anyway, it was literally like 10 minutes in my hotel room and back downstairs to be picked up. Now, I was picked up and then brought to Springfield Technical College, which is where Iris used to work. I walk in and see this bright, beautiful, energetic, smiling face and a woman who introduces herself as Iris and a big fan. And she's so excited to meet me. And literally that was the beginning of like the most amazing next 12 hours of my life. But the one thing you shared with me, and I know you don't regret it now, but you may have felt a tinge of regret then, was I really want to do your EDA, your Dream Accelerator program. And as soon as someone tells me that, I'm like, ding, because I love hearing people's dreams. I love hearing about what people want to do. You know, it inspires me when people want to break out of what they're doing and do something they're passionate about. And she said something like, I really want to do it and I'm going to do it and whatever. And I just laser focused on her. And I was a dog with a bone the whole day. She drove me home and we were still talking about it. And it was like tooth and nail with you. It was tooth and nail with you to get you in, which is so funny. No one would ever believe how you kicked and screamed. And now she is one of our 3 coaches in all of EDA. And then there's more, but that's the backstory as I see it. Now, Iris, I'd love for you to tell everyone a little bit about yourself and why you're so passionate about what you do.
So I'm originally from Puerto Rico, but I moved to the United States at 8 years old. So that's how I connected with Project Eñye. That Eñye story definitely resonated with me. And I'm the oldest of 6 kids, married with 2 kids, and married to my high school sweetheart. I mean, he was in Puerto Rico, I was here, but that's a whole other story. And all my life, I've loved history, and that's something I was always very passionate about. I mean, I don't own one business book. That's where my degree is in. I own a whole bunch.
That's hilarious.
Own a whole bunch of history books instead. And just the passion for history was always there, the passion for stories. And about 6, almost 7 years ago, I think now, I started my own research, as most genealogists do. We start with our own research on our own family. And it was just like electrifying that when people used to say to me, oh, when I do this and it doesn't feel like work. It just felt like alien to me. I didn't know what they meant. It was just like speaking another language. Like, what do you mean? And the minute I started that, I felt it. I felt that. And then seeing my story unfolding, seeing my grandparents' story unfolding, and being able to share with them, which has been a great gift. Seeing my father's story unfolding, and then when you go into the history and seeing, and then doing research and finding the true, finding the actual history that we're not taught in the classroom, I needed that passion to share and have somebody else be part of this, give this to someone else. It's it's a bond that creates with your ancestors that I think for some people it's unexpected. I think everybody has their own reasons for doing research. Everybody has different questions. For me, it started with wanting to learn more about my paternal side and find healing in that, because my paternal side, they went through a lot. And so seeing my father's story unfolded, to me, it created such a connection to my father and empathy to my father that has been so healing for me and for him. And just, it's been amazing. And for others that I've helped, for someone, it's just different for everybody. Like one person I helped was, finding they had heard these stories throughout their lives about things that had happened in their family. And we were able to dig in and find answers. And giving that person answers was and seeing what that did for them. I just knew I need to keep this going. It's just that there's an empowerment that happens when you know your story, especially knowing that how far our stories, our histories go back. And that they are out there. It is empowering, and there is healing. I started the process of decolonizing without realizing I was doing it.
Oh,
and that is it.
Rosalia is on, and she said, "Hola, it's Rosalia. I had no idea it would change my understanding of where I came from." That is so true. Like I was telling, and then someone else just said, hi, Denise, Irisneri. Tell us who you are, because I can't see your name, unfortunately, but I want to know who you are. So it can heal so much. Yeah. So like, it's funny. I was talking to my husband, the Gringo Cowboy, today, and I'm like, it's just so interesting. I was so excited about our call today. I'm like, there's like people, and like so many things had to go right for those people to meet and create a family, and like so many decisions, and many of them random and very potentially random, like to make sure that I'm here and that he's here and that our kids are here. And what you do is you put all those pieces together. I think we walk around and we take that for granted, and then we don't realize how grounding that feels, Oh, it's Nia. Hi, Nia. So tell us more, when you're working with someone and you're building, like, what's a typical client? Like, what is that? Tell me about when someone calls you and you work with them. What exactly does that look like?
So usually we get together. I love to talk to people, which we'll go into how I felt about that at the beginning. But now it's my favorite thing to do, is to sit down and actually talk to them. And we talk, they let me know what they want. What are their questions? So, and that's usually, I always say, let's focus on one thing first. What is your main question? We all always have a lot of questions, but what's the main thing that you want to know first? So that's what we go through. I have one client, she's always heard about this businessman, entrepreneur, but also big philanthropist that comes from Spain. He lived in the early 1800s, and she wanted to know how she was connected to him, because she felt such a strong connection to him. She knew there might be one, but she wasn't sure what, because so much of her resonated with what he did and what he was like. And sure enough, it turns out it's a first cousin.
Whoa.
Moved. Yeah. So and for her to find out that connection was not in her head, it was not her imagination. there was an actual connection there.
Uh-huh.
Doing that for her and being able to give her that information. Recently, she also wanted to see, it's a huge family, so she wanted to see how she connected to maybe people from Cuba. And we were able to find how she couldn't. So a lot now we're, I keep helping her. She has an uncle who's also been working on the history. So it's like now it's a collaborative effort. But it's just to be a part of that and give answers. I have people that want to know who their indigenous ancestors are.
Oh, wow.
Of course, it's a little hard when it comes to identifying tribes because Spain did not keep track of who was who. Mm-hmm. But to be able to give her names of people, of her indigenous ancestors, and the fact that they go back pretty far. In this case, it's Mexico, and it's just to give that to people it's so hard to explain because it's just such a huge feeling, and you see it in their face. I mean, yeah, there's a moment of shock, process, then there's the emotion.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like this peace that comes over you. And I think us Latinos, I always say we're unique because our history is so colorful. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the things that me being a Latina, there's an understanding there that maybe somebody else that doesn't have the same background may not have that understanding. Mm-hmm. So there's that. It's like when I talked to another genealogist and I was letting them know there's an emotional aspect to our digging into our history, mm-hmm. and that it would be hard for somebody else from a different background to be able to understand. Tell me more about that. What do you mean? Well, the fact that we all, for the most part, we all have that. We have a tree that has everything. We have a tree with indigenous ancestors. We have a tree with our European ancestors, and we have a tree with our with African ancestors that were enslaved. And having to process all that emotion, yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. Plenty of times I had to walk away from my research and breathe and process those emotions because it is a lot. How do I accept my European ancestors? I know there's a lot of people that grapple with that feeling, mm-hmm. And how do I, reconcile that with my indigenous ancestors? Because you want to be able to accept all your ancestors because they're all a part of you. Right. So it's working through that. Yeah. It's a lot. It is. I mean, you literally just touched on one of the hottest button topics in, I would say, Project Eñye, in our office is that. And that's a story I'm going to say for another time. I think, though, that's a very big conversation, what you just said. I mean, there is a lot, and really, like, I guess not to leave people hanging, but it is, like, for us anyway, about accepting the whole package because we are. And yeah, that's a big conversation. And so that's what I love about Project Eñye. It's like there's just so many pockets of substance that we could go to. So I want to talk about, because one of the things I want to gift my husband is working with you on his lineage, because I want to take a trip, like kind of my fantasy here about when we can travel again is going to Europe and going to Spain, where I know that where my family's from, and going back there and showing the girls, and then going to Scotland and doing the same thing with my husband. And so I'm convinced, because I'm watching Outlander, that he was like part of, like, I'm curious, like which rebellious clan he was a part of. That's what they call it. Like, their families are called clans. And like, I'm just so curious about it now. But one thing we were saying this morning was like, wow, just like, one thing that's neat is like, they were thinking about us, but we don't necessarily think about them. Like, I feel like as a parent now, I feel like if you're a parent, we think about our kids and their kids and wonder, will they remember me? What will they think of me? How am I going to be in their minds and show up in their lives? And that's just a thing that we think about as parents, right? But not really thinking about so much the past.
And that kind of unlocking of history is, to me, such a beautiful gift that you offer. And I know that, even though I know you're going to help Kevin and you know exactly how to do that, I also know that you specialize in people who have ancestry dating back to Spain. Can you tell me why you chose that specialty?
Because I think, again, because of the Latino community, I want to be able to help us find our history, connect to our history. So much of it, again, is not readily available to us. And through our genealogy, we get that gift, we get that information. And so that is one. And I speak fluent Spanish. So I am able to read the old cursive somehow, even though you can speak Spanish, but that cursive, it's okay. You have to decipher, but I'm able to read that. I've always had a gift for research, and it's one of the things that I want to be able to help people to find out. I mean, and then through this, it's just so, and our history goes back now that I do more. Some of us go back to French. There's French ancestors. So I'm actually taking a course, a Rosetta Stone, to refresh my French.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. What a cool thing. So tell everyone how, because you and I have worked together, and tell everyone what it is that you discovered about us while we were working together.
What's funny is that, people can meet and have a strong connection, but the second I saw Project Eñye, it was just something there. And we felt it when we met.
Yeah, definitely felt it.
And later on, we found out that we are cousins.
So if you see when we call each other prima all the time on Facebook, that is why. It's not because we feel like primas, it's because we actually are. Which, feeling like it is good too. And it's funny how, like, it's very interesting, the people that make impressions on us. And I literally can't, it's in my mind, imprinted on my mind, that moment that we met, because it was such a special moment. There was something very special about it. And it was in a hallway at a college. There was nothing, I would say, special or extraordinary about it, but I felt the connection with you immediately. And you and I had never met before, or had ever talked on the phone, right? We never met.
On the way home, I mean, I think we stayed in the car talking for another hour.
Yes. You drove back to the hotel and we kept talking, and it was like instant. It is interesting. Like, if we only had access to this information, like those people that you do have these instant connections with, like, it does make you wonder if you have a legit blood connection to them, because there is definitely there's a familial connection to you that we both feel that's just there. So it's a beautiful thing. So, all right, now you have this passion. You're obviously good at it. You and I have worked together, and it's just such a joy. It's a joy to work with you. It's a joy to see how much joy you get and how you present the information. You can just tell how much you love what you do. And that's special. Like, literally, when you're out there in the world and you meet people that love what they do, they could work at a post office, they can be the waiter bringing your food. But damn it, that experience is so much better when you can tell how much they love it. And that is how it feels to work with Iris. And so I could see that. Now, tell me what was holding you back from getting support to do this full time? Tell everybody else.
All right. I mean, honestly, it feels like a dream, all of this. I think same story the story I'm sure a lot of people have. I basically, but fear grappled me, and then the whole, no, I don't have a degree in that. My degree is in this. How can I leave a full time that I was planning to retire from? Wow. My family, I needed to provide for my family. How could I take such risks? That's crazy. But the passion kept growing. And then I started following you right after the movie. I watched the movie, and then you're talking about purpose. And it's funny because even before I was watching the movie, that kept coming up. Walking in your purpose. What is your purpose? So I start following you, and you start talking about purpose, and I'm like, here we go with purpose again. Okay. And it just, when it's that fear. It's like, no, how can I do that? Tengo trabajo. I have a job. I can't risk my family. But it was a job, and I was not passionate. And at the end of the day, I would feel drained, not glowing. Would come home, even work, do what I needed to do with the kids, and just fall asleep.
Wow.
Because I was just so drained. I was not being productive. The kids could see it. I was just going through the motions. And I start following you, and EDA starts coming up, and I just felt it. I just felt that rumbling inside of me. And for the first time in my life, I didn't know what I was doing, because, as you know, I was kicking and screaming all the way till like the last hour. I just felt that push, like, you're gonna do it. That's why when I first met you, I kind of like blah, 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 blurted it all out, because in my head is now.
Yeah.
I either say it now. I don't know why I'm saying it. What do I want from this? I just literally went with my gut. For the first time in a very long time, in years, just went with my gut and say, where does it take me? And then seeing your reaction, and you're just you come from the heart. And it's like I say to people, yes, what you see in the documentary, that's her. That's who she is. 10 times even better. I mean, it's just be able to have you in my life is just amazing. And when I saw your genuine reaction to what I said, and when you looked at me, and I could see and I could feel it, that you were saying it from the heart, mujer, you got to do it. It was like a symbolic.
And I'm going to pause this. I mean, because I've been doing this for so long, however many years, and just meeting so many people, there's just some things that are clearly needed, and people are very hungry for. And so when you told me that this was your passion, and then you had all these reasons why this couldn't happen, I couldn't accept that, because here I am talking to all these people that are talking about wanting to know their history, wanting to feel connected to their Latinidad, wanting to understand where they fit. And here you're holding the keys to that, and you're you, and then you're letting it get in the way about some silliness that I'm going to call certification, when it's hilarious. You don't have the business books, but I bet you have at least 10 genealogy books, and I bet you I would find a gazillion genealogy, everything. My husband's obsessed with acting. Every time I organize, there's another acting book. There's some plays, this, whatever, Meisner, Hanaha, the guy loves acting. I bet you anything, the same thing would happen in your house. And so that's what makes you an expert. And we've worked together. And FYI, Irisneri is also a story consultant on our next film. She's so good. She's that good. And she was withholding that. And I understand why. You've thought everything was at stake. I get it. It's our parents, made these sacrifices for us. We want certainty. There's nothing wrong with that, except for when you're clocking into a job that sucks the life out of you, and you come home and you really don't have anything else to give. And your kids deserve better. Your husband deserves better. You deserve better. And the community does. I knew the community needed you. And so that's why I, in your case, would not take no for an answer. And so if there's anyone listening, and I haven't pushed you as hard as I pushed her, seriously, Like, just get it. I I desperately want some people that are watching this to do Eñye Dream Accelerator, and I feared that I was crossing a line with you. I really did, but at the same time, I was like, "But no,
I think
it's."
you're crossing. I think you said that. I think I'm sorry. I think I'm crossing a line.
Did I say that? Okay, there you go. Like that. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? But it's kind of like what you do, I guess, with family. Like, you cross the line, you're inappropriate. You just say, no, you're coming anyway. I'm sorry about your bad luck. You are coming. And look what happened. I mean, just so tell everybody what happened.
So I remember we talked that night, and then it was a couple months after that I heard back, and you were then talking to me about EDA. So obviously by then I kind of had settled back into that same routine, and the same habits started, over again. And you contacted me about it, and I remember my heart stopping, and my first reaction was like, no, I can't do that now. No. And then I kept thinking about it. And then I talked to my sister about it. And then it was like you and my sister, even though you guys have not met, which I can't wait for the day that you do.
Me too, me too.
We're both tag teaming. Because my sister also did what she never had done. She was like, you're doing it.
Oh.
That's it, Iris. Mm-hmm. You're doing it. No, I don't have the money anyway right now. No. She paid for it. And then she's like, you have no excuse. And I think I sent her a message like an hour before it was about to close or something like that. Okay, I'm doing it.
That is awesome. It's like all obstacles are eliminated. You're like, okay, let's dive in then. So, I mean, what a beautiful story. So then you joined EDA. Tell us, give us the high level of what has happened since you started, because you started from scratch. This was a hobby. Had you ever made any money doing this before?
Oh, I had settled to the fact that it was going to be a hobby, and that when I retired, it would probably be the thing I would do.
What, are you still in your 20s?
41.
All right, it's her good Latina skin, okay? Okay, don't hate us because we're beautiful.
The whites are there. They are there. The whites.
Well, they're barely there. So okay, so you're 21. No, she's 41. So when she retires in 20 years, that's the plan. But that got changed.
Absolutely. It was. I remember the first assignment you gave me, my first pink shirt, because it felt like a pink shirt. You're going to design your business card. And I remember, because the first thing you do is resist. You do resist because you have all of these old habits. And so I'm like, how can I don't even have a business.
Oh.
And I remember you asking me, well, if you could call it something, what would you call it? And it's funny because that I answered right away.
Uh-huh.
So I knew it was already there. Something, it was like an auto body experience, I think. Like, it's there, Iris. You already know the name.
Mm-hmm.
I designed a tree that I have been drawing since I was a kid. Oh. I always draw the same type of tree. And that's what I used in my sketch. Because you told me just do a sketch and upload it to into the group. And
she is who?
Well, my Gina Solano said, Iris, I'm going to do something with that. And she took it, and she took this tree that I had been drawing, and she did this beautiful logo. Mm-hmm. And it's like, for the first time, that made it real. That, like I said, was like a switch. Mm-hmm. Okay, I can do this. So I started June of 2019, July of 2019, I registered Descubre tu Historia.
Best name ever. I still love the name. It's such a great name. So yeah, then what happened?
Then I remember it was just little by little. Oh, I see you doing podcasts. You have to get an Instagram. And I'm like, before that, I was always very private with social media. I was not okay with visibility. I was not okay with being uncomfortable. I was one of those. If I'm uncomfortable, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be anywhere I'm uncomfortable. And I did. I did my IG. First I resisted again. I remember you telling me you need to get on the phone with people. They need to meet you. I resisted that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first thing, but then I'm like, no, let me do it. And I remember getting on the phone with my first person, and it felt so good. And now that's my favorite thing, to connect. It's like, no, we have to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did my Instagram and took the Rosalia's advice, and then and it started to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started getting comfortable with the social media. It was like a very slow, progressive, but I was okay with social media. Then, okay, you should start doing videos. Talk about. I resisted that a little bit. So the resistance is less and less. And then I started doing videos.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I still got a little bit of a process for the videos and getting comfortable with visibility, but I'm definitely way more comfortable than I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a live right now for guys.
And here's the thing, you guys, is like, this is how it works. It's not just like, oh, I want to do this, and then all of a sudden you're in the spotlight. No, it feels like that, which is what she's saying, like that resistance. It's a step-by-step thing. Like it's not like, you know, and yeah, you will be uncomfortable, but it's like you're uncomfortable in the arms, in like loving arms, if that makes sense. It's kind of like watching a scary movie, but with your husband next to you. Like, you know it's going to be okay, but you're scared, and you're kind of a willing partner in this. And so tell everybody, you were resisting social media, did not have an IG, considered yourself a private person, which I know you've said that before, right? And then so how many Instagram followers do you have now?
Now I have over 1,200.
1,200.
And I was just in the Hip Latinas 13 movers and shakers to follow on Instagram.
And do we know? So let's just pause right there. So this is someone who was like, no, Eñye on the social media, yay, I'm private. And now she's got 1,200 people that follow her. I'm going to say maybe 50. No, you knew before. And I feel like maybe 50.
At 100.
Wait, you have 100 followers that you know?
When I first started, I was like, I didn't even know I was going to get to 100.
That is hilarious. Okay, and now she's at 1,200. And now people are knocking on her door, because a lot of people are like, oh no, you have to do this, 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 and this to start a business. No, you don't. People that she doesn't know contact her all the time and ask her for help. Okay, so much so that she's starting a membership to help the people because there's so many people that need help now. And then the cherry on top was finding out that Hip Latina did an article and featured her Instagram as one of the top Latina Instagrammers to follow. And so this is like a really important moment, because like you're listening and you think you have an idea of who you are. You think you're the type of person that has the life that you've got, right? But then there's this whole nother life that's possible. And it's possible when you decide maybe something different is possible for me. And sometimes it takes your sister pushing you out. And then sometimes it takes a perfect stranger who you literally find out is your cousin to push you into blooming into the flower that you so obviously are. I just really want to use Edith's story right now as an example of that, because we're also talking about a business that is helping the community. So I don't want to step over that. Like, it's really enriching our community. And I think the more people she helps, the more grounded our community feels, like one person at a time, you know? And I just think that's such a beautiful thing. So please, and really quick, I'm going to do a plug, because you offer a bonus every once in a while. ED Study offers a bonus to anyone who joins EDA. And this time around, she has offered to do a 30-minute call with her. And so a lot of times for free, for absolute free, it's like $200, right? Just to talk to you for an hour. And so And so this is a 30-minute, and which is enough time to get out whatever it is that's going on. And she's really fun to talk to. So if you join EDA, she's going to get a list, and she's going to be contacting you and providing that free 30 minutes with her. So if you have a question, if there's something you're curious about, that is to me, that is such a, and look, someone just said, what? That's amazing. So yes, I think it's amazing too. And you're going to want to go down the rabbit hole. Like, honestly, like, it's just, and it never ends. It's so fascinating. And she's just a wealth of knowledge. So, okay, I feel like I'm gushing about you, but there's so much to gush about. So, what was my next question? All right, tell me this. So you have a brand new offering, and this is kind of like your next thing. Tell everybody like what you posted in the group, and you're like, Denise, don't make me do this. But like, you posted either today or yesterday, because we've been encouraging you. Like, this is, I happen to think this is a great gift. This is a great holiday gift to give to somebody that you're married to. I feel like working with Edie's is kind of like the gift that you give someone that has everything, or that you don't want to give them another sweatshirt, or you don't want to give them whatever. It's like, this is a gift that is not only the experience of working with her, but also you get something at the end. And so, because you have this killer offering where you make books for people. So tell us about that really quick, and tell us about the offering.
So I am offering for gift. I'm selling gift cards for Christmas, 50, 100, and 200, and they can be towards any of my packages. And separate, so 2 of my packages don't include the book, so that would be separate. But the biggest package, that package includes a book, and it is literally a book that I design, and it's something that can be printed and can be sent to family, but you're able to have forever. And it will include pictures if we are able to find pictures, but also it will include pictures of if I'm able to find historical pictures of where your family was from, information on your last names. I kind of try to trace where your family started, so you can kind of see in case you want to plan those future trips. So it's a kind of mini travel guide. I want to go here, I want to go there.
That's awesome. And also, FYI, I was shocked at how many pictures you were able to find of my family. And what I found, like the documentation that she finds, it is like going on Ancestry, and like Ancestry.com gives you the spark, and working with Irisneri is like you're at a bonfire. It is nuts, like how much information she can gather, and in a quick amount of time. So each one of her packages gives a ton of value. And I'm just going to say it up front, I'm sure each one is going to make you going to want to do the next one. It's like going to a great restaurant. You want the app, the meal, the side, and dessert and coffee, please, and have a great experience. So that's what it's like. And so we have only a few more minutes. I want to ask you, did I forget anything? Were we supposed to talk about anything at all, or no?
Oh, well, I just wanted to add the fact that now I'm living my dream life.
Yay.
So please, anybody, I mean, literally, this was my dream life. Kids possibly getting homeschooled so we can make room. I can do my passion, take them with me, and travel. I'm doing this full time now. Never pictured it in my life. And now my daughter is officially in online public school because I'm already setting the stage so that dream life I thought I would not have. So we could start traveling next year for research, because I will require some traveling, and I just can't wait to start that next chapter.
That is awesome. And what?
That's what EDA has done. And yes, it's a process, and it's an amazing journey. The women, the sisterhood, again, I thought I was a loner. I thought all of that because I had been hurt a lot. So I only stuck to my sister, my mom, and I have found this wealth of women that not only And our friends, I consider friends. We genuinely care about each other, and we're here for each other. And whoever comes along, it's a welcoming community and supportive, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, and here's what I love. I love how we do a welcome call for every new group of women that come in EDA, and there's always a handful of women that jump on the call that are in EDA. It's a weird, cool, sweet tradition that that I never bring up. I don't think. I just people decide to come on in and welcome, and it's just it's such a good example of what EDA is like. It really is like an open door. And it also is something that you kind of have to experience. Like we could only put it into words for so long, which is why I'm going to say there's a guarantee. There's a 30-day guarantee. So you can try it. You can come in. You can feel the love. You can do some modules. You can jump on some calls. And if it's not for you, we'll give you your money back. And if it is, stay as long as you like. So,
and I want to say thank you.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever publicly thank you.
Oh.
You honed in on my gift. You pushed me in a very loving, firm way, but loving. You never shamed me or anybody. You have such a gift on coaching and the way you coach. Because yes, your message comes across, but you do it in such a way that's what helps us and helps us process the fact that you allow us the moment to feel what we got to feel, to be real and raw with you, and the way you receive it. I mean, that's what a true coach does. And then you have a way of listening and then guiding us and just honing, and then, okay, we did this. Now let's focus on this. And then you have such a gift. And people need to, you got to experience it.
Well, thank you very much. I very much appreciate that. And it's definitely an ongoing journey for me too. I set out to make a movie. That's really what I set out to do. And then I saw a need, and I wanted to make sure that I could help where I believed I could be helpful. And so I appreciate that feedback. And it's a dance, and I love dancing with all of you. So thank you so much. And the last thing I want to share is that I mentioned really quick that Edis is one of our 3 coaches. Not only am I in the group providing, and we have a Facebook group, and that's where kind of all the action happens. I'm in there, and also we have Iris, we have Rosalia, who I interviewed yesterday, and we have Norma. And so all 3 women, all us 4 women support the women that are in there today. And so a lot of people kind of, some people might be wondering, like, what is it like? And am I going to get all my questions answered? Is a group really the best way to kind of handle this, what I need? And I actually reached out for their help specifically because of how they were showing up in the group. And they were kind of doing the job anyway. And so we just made it official and kind of brought them up to nurture the group, because everybody deserves that ear, and that, there's multiple perspectives on a single thing. And so we offer 4 different perspectives. And then also there's women that are showing up as leaders in that group all the time. And so, joining is a guarantee. You're going to get lots of great feedback, lots of different perspectives on things, and it's all going to be wrapped in love. So, all right, Edis, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Please tell everybody where they can follow you on IG.
All right, you can follow me at Descubre tu Historia. I'll put it in the.
Please,
just in case.
She puts it in the thing. And then where can we buy gift cards for our families if we want to give them as gifts? And how does that work? Do you send us a gift card? Do you send us a PDF? And tell us how that works?
I will do a PDF. So I do have a website that you could go to and you buy it. I will email you a PDF, so it will be electronic. And I will send you a bit of information how it would work and all of that you can forward to your loved one that you're going to be gifting this to. So I will also include the link for the gift cards, but you can also find it in my IG, in my link tree.
Terrific.
So if you go into my link tree, you can also find a link to that, right to the website.
Awesome. And then maybe you can just post your Instagram, but then also post the Linktree link just so we can see the other things that you offer too. Okay?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. I hope this was helpful. I hope that all of you that watched you were able to see a part of yourself here in my conversation with Edie's. And I just want to acknowledge, as someone said, I married a gringo, but he has been around the culture. He is familiar. So he points certain things I never realized. One thing I have a hard time with is showing my boss all the hard work and time I put in. Oh, that's interesting. We get that. So get that. I feel guilt if I do. Yep. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. And you know what? That is overcomable. But first we have to acknowledge it's definitely part of our culture to have a hard time with that. So you're normal. And there's a way. And if you join us in EDA, we can coach you through that, around that. And then just a lot of love for you. Okay. Thank you. I will see you on the next EDA call. Mwah. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.